What is up, YouTube? I am the Poké-Chap, and this week we got one heck of a news drop from Nintendo. That's right, even though E3 was just around the corner, they just couldn't wait to reveal their next big project, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, set to release on November 16th this year. And while that is exciting news, we only got a very brief trailer of a few minutes, and it did have only sparse information for us. So today, we're going to go through and try and dissect that trailer, plus any other hidden information I can find, and try and figure out what it is that we know about this game. So the first important piece of information that we can glean from all this is that we are getting, as our first Nintendo Switch game for Pokemon, a remake of Generation 1, and specifically of Pokemon Yellow, which is a bit of an odd choice, but given that Fire Red and Leaf Green served as our original Red and Blue, or Red and Green if you're from the land of the rising sun, remakes back in Generation 3, I think this makes perfect sense. At least as far as Gen 1 remakes go. The next thing that we can figure out is that depending on which version of the game you get, your respective starter, either Pikachu or Eevee, will ride on the trainer's head or shoulder throughout the duration of the game, and this is apparently not something you can turn off. It's just a feature, it's just something that will be happening, and honestly that's okay. I don't have a big deal with it. Moving on. The next thing that we can figure out is unfortunately a bit of an issue for me, and that is the capture system. I'm not entirely sure why Nintendo felt the need to do this. I guess it's because of the hype that is still surrounding Pokemon Go, or at least whatever they think is still going on with that. For whatever reason, they've decided to have it where you play with a single Joy-Con, and when you run into a wild Pokemon, in order to catch it, you fling the Wiimote in order to throw the Pokeball as you would in Pokemon Go. As was later revealed, there is actually no wild battles. When you run into the Pokemon, you're just brought into the capture menu. That's it. You don't have to weaken it or anything. The success rate is based on how close you get to the small circular icon that appears whenever you try and capture a Pokemon, which leaves a few things up to our imaginations. Most notably, how does one grind in this game if you're not quite up to par on levels? If you're too weak to fight a gym leader, then you gotta fight someone, but if you can't fight wild Pokemon, then who? It's also worth noting that now, instead of just walking through tall grass and randomly encountering wild Pokemon, you can actually see wild Pokemon in whatever area it happens to be in the overworld, so you can choose what Pokemon it is that you catch. So no more of that wondering if you're gonna get the right percentage thing. We don't know if this applies to fishing or not, or even if fishing is going to be in the game. Presumably it is, this is a staple of the Pokemon series, but hey, we don't know that yet, so who knows how that's going to work out. The next little piece of information that the trailer shows us is the in-game co-op multiplayer, which, as far as gimmicks go, isn't a bad one. It's not necessarily the most amazing thing in the world, but hey, I can certainly live with it. Now, the way that this works is that if a second player takes the other Joy-Con that is not being used by player 1 and shakes it, I guess, then the opposite gendered avatar will drop in and they can control that one. However, the team that they use will be based on whatever Pokemon is in player 1's party. That's right, they just share a party, so you don't really get your own team. Hate to tell you, it's just, hey, we have 2 guys out now. And this does also appear to impact the capture system, as both trainers can throw a Pokeball to, I guess, increase the capture rate? I don't know, they're not really specifying that one on necessarily how it works. However, given that you don't even necessarily need a friend for this, I can see this being potentially game-breaking, as some people may just try and co-op with themselves. Forever alone, forever. The next thing that we get to see is this weird little Pokeball gadget they're throwing in there. It almost kind of reminds me of the Pokewalker back in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and as far as I can tell, it works more or less the same way with a few extra things. It can be used in place of the Joy-Con, as used to help capture Pokemon. I don't know if you can use it to play the rest of the game, since it's just a ball with a button on it, but hey, they can reveal that as time goes on. Now, the interesting thing about it is that you can apparently transfer your Pokemon, as far as we know, only the starter, but again, that could just be what they decided to do for the trailer, into this ball and carry it around, and that will do something. I don't believe they have revealed what that does. Maybe it'll gain levels, maybe it'll love you more, who knows? All we know is you can put it in a ball and carry it with you, and I guess the ball makes noises, or that was a trailer effect, who knows? Now, in case all the similarities weren't on the head enough, the next thing that the trailer reveals to us is that, unsurprisingly, this game does work with Pokemon Go, and in a not so surprising way. Basically, if you have Pokemon in Pokemon Go, you'll be able to transfer them to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot past that. You just send them over and boom, you can have whatever it is that you've caught. So for those of you who have actually stuck with the game, and unlike people like me who dropped it very quickly, congratulations, you will be much better off than the rest of us who will have to basically work our way up from scratch. Now this next part, oddly, didn't really have a whole lot of attention drawn to it, even though it was one of the more eye-catching parts of the entire trailer. And that was the fact that you can have other Pokemon, aside from just your starter, follow you. And if the Pokemon's large enough, you can even ride it. Now this appears to be a feature you can turn on or off, so you can choose to have your Pokemon follow you, or be rideable, or you can just choose to chill out with your pal. Regardless, your starter Pokemon is still on you at all times, so in theory, you could go around flying on a Charizard with an Eevee on top of your head. And Lord knows that's what I'm going to be doing most of the time. One of the last things that we actually get to see is that apparently you get to dress up your starter, be it Eevee or Pikachu, in just silly outfits. It includes hats, shirts, pants, glasses, the whole 9 yards, and while not really a big game-changing thing, it's cute, I can appreciate that. The last thing that the trailer shows us is that apparently those of you who are once again still playing Pokemon Go will receive some sort of special Pokemon for getting this game. I don't know which one, it's supposed to still be a surprise, and honestly, could be anyone's guess. Now, while that may be the last thing that the trailer revealed, that is not the last piece of information that we have, as recently we have gotten a little bit more information, albeit not much. Basically, it's about the online aspect of the game, which we learned 2 things. One, you will require the online whatever feature it is going to be in order to use any of the online features. That being said, there will not be any GTS or Wonder Trade or any of the things that we've grown used to. Apparently, Nintendo's main aim with this is to simplify the Pokemon process as much as possible, which admittedly things have gotten a touch complicated in recent years. But hey, if nothing else, we do still have the core game coming out in 2019 to look forward to for those of us who may not be as excited about this. Now, while this isn't necessarily something I'm crazy about, it is definitely a game I will still get and check out because I'm a loyal Pokemon fan, and I'll basically follow them until they destroy it for me. Regardless, that is all that we have in terms of information right now. Maybe we'll get some more information at E3, maybe we won't, who knows. Regardless, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for any further news as it comes out. And yeah, so until next time, peace!